everybody, and welcome to our live episode of Season Sunflower Hour. As always, thanks for being a part of the Sunflower Hour family. I'm so glad you decided to spend some time with us tonight. Now, if you haven't done it already, I'm sure most of you have, but if not, make sure you hit that follow, the like button, so that you can stay up to date on all the things that we have going on and make sure to never miss a show. And what is super, super fun and exciting now is not only are we going live on Twitch for our shows, but we're also live on YouTube. So make sure that you follow us on YouTube so you can watch us in whichever platform you prefer. All the links, I know that Sam will put them up because she is so incredible about that, but you can find us everywhere and make sure that you do. Oh, people are already chiming in. I love that. If you're watching the show, chime in. Say hello in the comment section. Let us know where you're tuning in from because we love seeing all of that. We love spreading the love here at Sunflower Hour. And speaking of spreading the love, so many great things have been happening usually all year round, but definitely this month, in the month of September. And you know, I'm going to keep you updated on all of them. So right now, through the end of September, so there's still time left, we have a beautiful matching gift campaign happening. You can double your impact. This is so incredibly huge, you guys. So every dollar that is donated right now through the end of September is doubled. $5 turns into 10, 20 turns into 40. This is so huge. I am so thankful. I know on behalf of everyone in the chapter, we are so thankful to the anonymous donor who has stepped up to do such a generous thing. So from now until the end of September, your donation to the chapter will be matched. Sam will put that link up in the comment section. So if you're thinking about giving, please make sure to give this month because again, every gift is matched. This is so huge. So thank you again to that incredible anonymous donor. Also, the Chicago Marathon is coming up so quickly. It'll be here before we know it. It's coming up on October 8th in Chicago. We still need volunteers. So if you want to be a part of that, if you're around, if you're in Chicago area, or if you want to travel in, we have a lot of great, amazing supporters that fly in for this beautiful event. Come out, come to the cheer tents. It is so important. If you've seen past episodes, we've had walkers come on and tell us in their own words, how impactful it is to have people at those cheer tents along the side of the route, cheering them on, encouraging them. That's what gets them to that finish line. When they feel like they're getting tired, exhausted, those 26.2 miles are really hitting them. They turn that corner and they see everyone with those signs, with Team ALS cheering them on, and that gives them the extra push they need to get to the finish line, and you can be a part of that. So that link will also be up in the comment section. If you need any information on that, you can email Catherine. Her email address, I'm assuming that's already up there too. It's Catherine@alsunitedchicago.org. That will give you all the information you need. But again, that's October 8th in Chicago. So come be a part of it. And last but certainly not least, Living Well with ALS Educational Symposium that is also coming up next month. That'll be on October 17th. It is a Wednesday. It's going to be at Cantigny Park in Wheaton. It is free for pals and cals. I love that. Our patients with ALS and our caregivers with ALS. Otherwise, it is $25 a ticket. But come out. It is such an amazing event. And if you've never been to Cantigny Park, it is absolutely beautiful. So what better excuse to come out and enjoy it than to come and see our Living Well with ALS Educational Symposium. Oh, Scott Marcel is in the house tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. He's been such a lovely supporter of the show and such a great part of the Sunflower Hour family. So hello, Scott. Thanks for joining us tonight. Well, okay. So now that we've got some really beautiful announcements out of the way, and again, I'm going to remind you at the end of the show, don't forget to make your donation before the end of the month. Well, it's going to be matched. Now, I want to get right into our first guest because I'm so excited. She is one of my absolute favorite guests to have on the show. And not only that, she's one of just my favorite people. I am so just in love with her. I look up to her. I admire her so much. She is one of those souls who she will help anyone, anytime. And she just has this energy that just really inspires everyone around her. I've seen it. I've experienced it. If you've ever met her, you know exactly what I'm saying is incredibly true. So anyway, I could gush about her all night long, but I'm not going to do that. I want to get her out here so that I can share her with all of you tonight. So please welcome, with some kind of new updates and announcements, please welcome our very own president and CEO, Julie Sharpe.
Hi,
Hi, Julie.
Susan. How's it going?
Oh, so good. So good. I'm still going to work on trying to get you out here to visit to do a live show in person, but we're not there yet, but I'm going to work on it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Scott, it's great to have you guys with us. I had the pleasure of seeing him a couple of weeks ago at one of our events, which is the ALS Classic Golf Outing, which was a fantastic day. So it was great to see you, Scott, and get to spend some time with you. Yeah, it has been, I can't believe we're sitting here in mid-September season. I think the last time I was on the show was back in January as we were or February, launching the year. And there's just so much excitement about this year, and it's been amazing. And
I love that you gave me you led me straight into this, because it is I love doing, every year we start the show with, we start out the new year with having you come in and we kind of talk about the upcoming goals. So yeah, I feel like we blinked and now, yeah, here we are in September. So much has happened. Fill us in on some of these things. How has the year been going now that we're coming sort of to a close of 2023?
Sure. I'm just so excited, I think, for the ALS community that we serve, that we've had such a phenomenal year, not with generating more awareness, I believe, in the marketplace, which has been a real, we've been leaning into all year and really made a concerted effort to not only talk about to the folks that we serve what our programs and services are and how folks can get involved, but really trying to broadcast that to the general public and getting them more inclined to step up and make an impact in the fight against ALS. And we had a successful walk season that we just wrapped up this past weekend in Peoria. The Chicago walk was fantastic. It was so great to have nearly 2,000 individuals in attendance that day. But of course, we had many more following and many more walking alongside of us at home or from wherever they were, which that model continues to work for us. Then we had, actually the day before the walk, we had our Lou Gehrig's Day, LG4 Day with the Cubs, and that was terrific. Getting to entertain some individuals living with ALS and their caregivers, along with other organizations at the Cubs game. Again, Scott, you were there. He was one of the individuals that was in attendance that day. But being able to partner with I Am ALS, the Les Turner Foundation, and ourselves, and have us all together in a suite, really sharing in community was very important. And that's just kind of, I feel like we've been on a trajectory this year of moving towards collaborations and just really pouring into our mission. I feel like we've got a couple more of events coming up, and we don't do events just to do events. You've talked about the marathon, which we have over 200 individuals running for us this year, 205, I believe, which is the largest Team ALS that we've ever had. And we just surpassed our goal today, which I'm so proud of Sarah and so proud of all the runners. And it's just going to shape up to be a huge party in a couple of weeks. Thank heavens I'm not running 26.2 miles. I am the hostess with the mostest. I love to help with the dinner and with the hospitality suite. But it's just always such a special, incredible experience for the folks who choose to participate, and very meaningful. We're unique in the sense that all the individuals who are running on Team ALS actually have a personal connection. And I believe Scott actually flashed up there in his just a few moments ago regarding a screening that he's doing for a film by Amanda Peet. And she is one of the individuals that there is a team for. that we have. There's at least 4 individuals who are running on her behalf. And she in herself is an incredible person, an incredible story. I think she may be a guest in the future on Sunflower Hour with you, Susan, talking about the fact that she's run over 50 marathons herself while living with ALS, or, and living with ALS. She's not going to be able to run the Chicago Marathon, but she's going to be here. We've got a screening of our film coming up over the next week. Scott's got one happening in person. We really want to encourage folks to come out and support that. We've just got a lot. And I'm really, really excited to talk about pre-COVID. We used to host an amazing educational symposium that you spoke about. And we're actually going to be able to host it again this year in October on the 18th. It's a Wednesday. Yes. We're going to be out at Cantini Park. And there's going to be the vendor expo component. So individuals living with the ALS and their caregivers can connect directly with what we call our care service partners, service-based companies, equipment-based companies, folks who can support their living with ALS that are tried and true partners of ours. So they'll have a chance to interact with those folks. And then we're going to have an Ask the Expert luncheon, which is going to focus on innovation and home automation. And really excited to have the individuals that are going to be speaking on the panel while hosting a beautiful lunch and celebrating our ALS community there at the beautiful backdrop of Cantini and Les Jardins. And so that kind of wraps up, if you will, our event season. But we got a lot going on, and it's really all focused on those that we serve.
Yeah, you do. I mean, it's so much, and I just get so excited hearing you talk about it, because what you have accomplished is so incredible. What the chapter has coming up is so incredible. It's just so much, and it's so beautiful.
Absolutely. And the ALS Classic
Very exciting.
Was a record-breaking golf outing for us this year. We had over 400, I think there were 488 golfers that day between Constellations event that we had in the morning and then the Classic in the afternoon presented by the Hartford. It was just an incredible day and an awesome day for, again, the community rallying around the individuals living with ALS and their families in support of our mission. So maybe that's why my voice is a little craggly. I don't know. It could be. We're just on a roll.
You've had a lot. You've been running. You are.
Yeah.
Nope. And I love that energy. And that's what keeps you, I think, because genuinely everyone with the chapter just loves what they do so much. That's what keeps you going, because you can just go 24/7. You're like the Energizer Bunny. You truly, all of you just never stop. But I think because everything is just fueling you. You guys love what you do so much. That's exciting.
I agree. I have an amazing team.
I want to dive into a couple other things, because absolutely. There's been a recent announcement that some maybe have heard or haven't heard, sort of regarding the separation of the organization from the national chapter. So I want you to talk just a little bit about this. What impact will this have on the ALS community that you serve, that the chapter serves?
Absolutely. For those of you who may not be aware, we are, as of September the 1st, we are an independent organization alongside of 14 other chapters, now entities that have left our national organization. Excuse me. The good news is the reason that we really stepped away was to ensure that all the programs and services and the quality of those that our families have come to expect will continue to be delivered, as well as the innovative programming that we've been so excited to bring to the community, such as our caregiver boot camp, the educational symposium, our Living Well with ALS seminars, our webinars. We can continue to be the innovators and move forward. Very little is going to change especially for the individuals that we're serving with ALS and the caregivers. All our programs, all our services are going to remain. So there's really not going to be an impact in our community. I will say we're on the precipice of some really exciting partnerships and some really exciting opportunities to be radically collaborative, as we're saying, with other organizations that are in the ALS, that are serving the ALS community. So really excited about what this means. You know, we have such an incredible care services team led by Jemana, Peggy, Kelly, Gemma, Audrey, Sue. We have Stephanie and Liz, which are kind of, they have a smaller role, but nonetheless such an important role because they help with the speech augmentation program. And then we have Jennifer, who really leans into the bereavement side of the work that we do. And this is just such an incredible team, not to mention on the other side of the equation, one team, different skill sets. We have Kendra and Sam and Kat and Sarah and Lauren and Betty that are just doing amazing work, all for, because we have the privilege of serving the individuals living with ALS. And so the team is going to still continue to be the front line of defense and offense in this disease and help in the fight against ALS. We will continue to invest in research. We're going to continue to be in advocacy efforts. So really, we're just marching ahead, onward and upward.
I wanted to dive in just to let everyone know or sort of reassure them, but you've kind of touched on that this separation won't change the support provided. Nothing's going to change for those individuals with ALS, the way that you serve them, the caregivers, all the services you guys provide, nothing will be unchanged. If anything, it's just going to be stronger and better, and it's just going to continue to increase and do more amazing things.
Absolutely. We're very excited.
Right. That's the direction. Yeah.
And one of the most, I mean, actually, there's just so much going on. But we were excited that we also, you know, because we do everything all at once, we kind of updated and launched a new website that's going to be much more, I think, interactive and much more friendly, if you will, and excited to have that opportunity to be able to convey information about the disease, provide resources, and have folks interact with us, hopefully in a very positive way. I look at the website doesn't define us, but it's a lot of ways that folks find us. It's our front door, if you will, that allows folks to walk through and get to us and the services.
And let's share that.
You know. So.
Let's share that new website. I don't know if Sam can put it up, but Julie, hit us. What's the new website address now so that everyone can see?
It's ALS United Chicago.org. And I think we're having some technical difficulties with Season. So
Hey, I'm going to hop in while Season is resetting her computer, but we'll be good to go. Julie, we are running short on time. I know we've got a second guest, so I've got to hop over to.
Well, then I talked.
Yeah. Do you have any closing remarks? Can I give you any last final things you want to say before you head out for the night?
Sam, you know, I just thank you all. Thank you for being here this evening. Thank you for being a part of the Season Sunflower Hour. Thank you for your support. Thank you for continuing to walk alongside of us or allowing us the privilege to walk alongside of you. And we're here for you. We got an awesome team. Let us know if you ever need anything. We're here.
Wonderful. All right. Well, thank you so much, Julie. Take care of that voice. Have a good night.
Thanks, you too.
Bye-bye. All right, everybody. Thanks for putting up with me. We'll let Season reset for a moment, but I'm going to go ahead and welcome our next lovely guest. Oh, you know what? I think Season is here. So I'm going to go ahead and let her step back in and introduce our next guest.
I love it. We love to keep things interesting. We love to keep you on the edge and keep throwing all kinds of fun things at you guys. This is a part of a live show. Thanks for sticking with us. Julie, did you want to come back on? Did you want to address a couple more things? Okay. Well, I'm so thankful that we had Julie and that she got to update us on all of the incredible things that we have going on. There's so many exciting things to look forward to in the rest of this year and the years to come. So that is really exciting, guys. Check out the new website. You'll be so excited to learn some of the new things that are happening in the chapter, some new partnerships coming up. And in the meantime, let's get to chat with our next guest. You get to meet this beautiful woman. She is no stranger to the power and the impact that people can make in your lives. She has experienced how individuals can play such a huge role in changing your life for the better. In fact, she's been on both the giving and the receiving side of that. As a school social worker for 29 years, Diana has changed the lives of so many individuals. So it's safe to say that she herself has left a lasting impact on so many. After her father, Bill, was diagnosed with ALS, Diana was on the receiving end of many life-changing moments that brought together a community to help. She got to see people rally around to step up and to help make a difference and to make an impact that will forever remain in her heart. Here to tell us about her dad, please welcome Team Bill's team captain, Diana Uselton. Hi, Diana. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Oh, I'm so good. Thank you so much. I'm so excited for everyone to get to meet you and to get to chat and kind of hear about your story. Because I know when I talk to you, you're just such a sweetheart. You were such a pleasure to talk to. So I'm excited to share that with everyone else.
Thanks for having me.
Oh, absolutely. Now, your dad, Bill, was battling ALS.
Yes.
Stinks. That just straight up stinks. He passed away in 2019 after about only 18 months of fighting his battle, or actually 18 months after the official diagnosis came in, because I know it took a little bit for that to happen. But can you tell us a little bit about your dad? Who was Bill? Who was Papa Bill?
Sure. Yeah. So my dad, sorry. He was a giver. I mean, he volunteered at the local Moose Lodge. And so he supported all the things that the Moose Lodge supported, from the programs that were for the older generation, but also Moose Heart, which is for the students, the kids, and just our local lodge. He was a supporter of all of his friends. If they needed something, he was right there to help his kids, his grandkids. Just an all-around great guy. We were lucky to have him.
Oh, he sounds pretty amazing. I loved getting to hear stories about him. And I can just say, just from the little bit I've known about you, I mean, I love that saying, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. You sound pretty special yourself. Would you say that there's maybe a trait or a characteristic or just a lesson that you've taken with you that people maybe see your behavior you have and there's oh, that's Bill. That's so your dad.
I think there's some good sides and maybe not so good. I asked he was stubborn too. He could be stubborn when he got something in his head that he wanted to do or that he thought needed to happen. And I would say my children, when I asked them what they thought I shared with Grandpa, besides I look like him, was a little bit of that stubbornness. But also I think you highlighted it. I think that part of my job, or the reason I went into the field that I did, is because, I saw him giving back or supporting people. And so, I think that's probably my biggest trait that I share with my dad.
Oh, that's beautiful. Yeah, he left an amazing impact, and now it's turned you into an incredible woman that just continues to help people sort of in his honor.
Yeah,
I love
hope
that.
So.
Yeah, I know so. Well, advocacy is such a huge component of ALS, and we speak to that on the show all the time. It is so incredibly important. But unfortunately, there's still so many unknowns with this disease. It's still very unfamiliar territory for most people. And I know that you've had firsthand experience with that. As you were sharing that your parents were in Texas, I believe, and your dad got sick. He had to go to the hospital. And unfortunately, things didn't go as smoothly there at the hospital with him having ALS. Can you tell me a little bit about that experience?
Yeah. So my dad was diagnosed in October, and then we were sent by the Peoria neurologist to Barnes just as a second opinion, and that diagnosis was confirmed in November. And they had planned to winter over in Texas because they had done that for several years. And the doctor said, you can go, but just know that they were planning to be gone for several months, November to April, basically. And the doctor said that's a long time. A lot can change in that time span. And we just decided as a family that they needed to go. They needed to take the trip and do what they could do while they could do it. And we'd figure out how to get him home. Well, I didn't realize how hard that was going to be. And part of it was just that we ran into people who didn't necessarily know a lot about ALS or didn't specialize in that area. And so getting home became a huge ordeal. We ended up they were in a motorhome. He lost a lot of mobility in that short amount of time. And so just getting him home safely became an issue, and we needed to have oxygen to get him home. And we had a hard time with the local hospital that we were in Arkansas at that point. We had made it that far. How to get home and how to get oxygen, like how do you take it home and then how do you drop it off, or how do you get it back, or we had to stop for a fill, like how does all that work? And no one seemed to really know how to make that happen. And so my mom and I decided we're going to call Kelly, our social worker that we had we didn't even really know Kelly that well because we were recent diagnoses, before they left. And we called Kelly and she got it set up for us. We had to make one stop to make sure that we, could exchange tanks. And then someone came to my mom's house and picked up the tanks. And then we went with a local place, and it was so smooth, but it was very overwhelming when we were living it because we were trying to figure out how to get him home. And that was just one more barrier, that we were dealing with so many emotions, we couldn't think straight, and so I was so appreciative to have her help us navigate that system. And then it went so smoothly. So, then we were able to get home.
I love hearing these stories because not the situation that happened, because that is no fun and I would want no one to be in that situation, but to know that you have, so for those of you that don't know, Kelly is a social worker with our chapter. So to have the chapter, this is why it's so important what ALS United Greater Chicago is doing, because it's this exact moment, Diana, when your parents were there, when they were stranded, when nobody else knew how to get them back, what to do, how to solve these problems. You could just reach out to the chapter and we've got you. We know, we have the contacts, we can make it all happen. So that, as you said, so much was going on for you, so much emotion, so many other things were on your plate. You don't need to be worried about all of these other things when we can take that off your shoulders and get you where you need to go and make life easier for you.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I was excited. I wanted you to be able to share that story firsthand, because for people that are watching this that haven't experienced what the chapter can do, I want them to understand that, so that if they're ever in a situation where they know somebody that's unfortunately diagnosed with ALS, like, we have the resources to really help you with that. And this is a prime example, as we were talking too. So much came out of just our conversation. I loved it. This is why advocacy and education about ALS is so important, because it is surprising how many people still don't really know. And at the same time, it's so silly, but you don't know what you don't know. Unless we're out there sharing the stories and just spreading that awareness, you don't know. And you experienced it. So how did all of that, how did this whole experience and everything you've been going through with this, how did that shape sort of the way maybe you looked at your dad's journey with ALS? Or did that spark any kind of inspiration for you? What came out of sort of these situations?
Well, we definitely felt like we belonged in the Peoria area. That's where we're from. And that, we knew that that's where we needed to stay. We needed to reach out to the people who were the experts because, we didn't really know what we were dealing with either or what was happening. And we needed to ask for help. We needed to rely on people to help us navigate this, just getting him what he needed so that he could be as independent as he could be. And then just, try to remain a part of it because it's hard on an entire family. And yeah.
It's hard.
I don't wish that on anybody. So anyway, we can continue to help. We're here to help for sure.
And this is why we're fighting this. We are, so that families don't have to go through this. When it comes to the ALS journey, as you were even just saying, it's hard and it takes an army and the community can play such an important role. So what was it like for your family once you found our chapter, once you found the ALS United Greater Chicago? We heard the story about the oxygen, but as an overall, did that make an impact? What was that like to have them in your corner?
Yeah, so in our area, we have the ALS clinic that everybody kind of comes to one place. And so we didn't have to go to all of the doctors separately. We didn't have to tell our story 20 times. You went to the clinic, you kind of told what you were maybe struggling with or people you wanted to talk to about certain things. And then those people came into the room, to us, and they had already heard that story. So we didn't have to repeat it, the loaner closet and I don't know if these things are available everywhere, but the loaner closet that was available in Peoria was a lifesaver because like I had said, my dad had, it had progressed so much while they were in Texas that the equipment that he had when he went was not enough to support him when he came back. And so he had a scooter type chair, and he couldn't no longer hold himself upright, and so he needed a wheelchair, which we were able to get with insurance, but it just took time to get that fitted, to him and to give to him. So we were able to borrow something. We were able to borrow a lot of equipment so that he could be at home with my mom, and we could care for him, and he could still be independent and go places and socialize and do all the things that he loved to do and he was still very capable of doing. So those were the things we appreciated. Those we didn't realize how much we appreciated him until we learned later on how those aren't always available everywhere. Not everybody has that that clinic atmosphere or the loaner closet or those things they can access.
That is true. And it's been heartbreaking when I've talked to individuals. We've even had some on the show that found us after the fact, that didn't know the chapter existed, and they went through that journey and didn't have those things. They didn't have the possibility, and you've seen it. It's so important to be able to give your dad the opportunity to be as independent as possible and to have all of that equipment at your fingertips. And you were telling me your mom, you guys have done something really beautiful with that because she continued on after your dad passed to kind of pay forward some of those.
Yeah. So my mom had, sorry.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Tell us. Take it away.
So my mom had leased a handicap accessible van and still had about a year on that lease when my dad passed away. And so she chose to, use that van to help other people, and connected with Kelly again, our social worker, and was able to go and help several families get to their appointments. And that's kind of how we discovered that other places don't necessarily have that clinic atmosphere, because she had to take someone to several different places to just get all those appointments that we got all in one, visit. And just how hard it is for families to get places when they don't have that handicap accessible van or those kind of services. So yeah, she really enjoyed being able to do that because it was giving back, but also then she was able to kind of share my dad's story too, and share some of the things that kind of the tricks or things that she found that would work well, or a piece of equipment that she just found that was so helpful or useful in their journey. So that was a good experience both ways. It allowed her to use that van and feel like she was, helping a family, but then also I think it helped kind of with her grief and her journey, dealing with, once my dad had passed away.
This is a family. It really is. We keep saying it's a family you don't want to be a part of, but when you do come into it, there are so many beautiful moments like this that it's truly a group of people that want to help, that either have walked in the shoes or are currently walking in the shoes, and everyone's there to just kind of help each other navigate, I guess, the best you could navigate a situation like this.
Mm-hmm. And I just think that I was just going to say, I think they have so much experience and so much knowledge. We went to a couple of appointments where staff outside of the ALS clinic would say things like, "Oh, you're so lucky, that you've lived this long. Most people don't live this long after the diagnosis." And I don't think they meant that the way that it came out, but it sure did come across, in a hurtful way to my dad and to our family. So those situations were hard. And so that's why I think too, when you're working with people who understand, who have experience, it just makes the journey a little bit easier.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, you guys have participated in so many ways. It's really beautiful. You've continued to share your dad's story, and with all the things you've continued to do to advocate for ALS awareness, it's really beautiful. And you have got to take advantage, as you were saying, for some of these really great things that the chapter provides. Is there one that maybe stood out to you more than anything else? One that you want to share with people, a specific service that you really, really appreciated that was really helpful?
I think what saved us, and like I said, made my dad continue to be as independent as he could, was the loaner closet.
Okay.
Just because of the time gap that it takes for insurance to approve and to get things. And so then when my dad passed away, we gave his wheelchair to the loaner closet. My mom donated the Hoyer lift to our school, one of the schools I work at, just to try to give back so that those things continue to be available for other families. And hopefully someday we won't need any of that. That's my hope. But
Absolutely.
as long as it is, then we're going to keep donating.
It's true. We all say that here at the chapter. We can't wait for the day that we close the doors on the chapter, because nobody needs us anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Because ALS has become a livable and curable disease.
Mm-hmm.
We're looking forward. We're going to keep fighting for that day to come. And yeah, for this equipment to not be needed anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Well, again, as you've advocated so much, and another one of those ways that you've been out there sharing that story is through our Walk to Defeat ALS, which is fun. I want to talk about this because I know we were laughing in pre-show in our little green room about this. It's the post-walk sort of excitement, the post-walk high, because you just had over the weekend, you just had the Peoria Walk to Defeat ALS. You are the team captain of Team Bill. So let's talk about that. I want to talk about, how was the walk? Tell us a little bit about it for those of us that didn't get to make it out.
Well, so we had a beautiful day. I mean, it was overcast. We thought it might rain, but it didn't rain until the walk was finished. So the location is Dozer Park, which is a baseball field. And so there's a lot of, activities to do for the kids, and there's donation baskets, raffle baskets that were really nice this year. And we just gathered as a team. We're not a big team. Team Bill is not a big team, but we're mighty. So, so we walk about 1.5 miles, I think is what it ends up being, downtown Peoria. It's really nice and pretty. And it was a great day.
I love that. Small but mighty. That is powerful.
Yeah, we're not a big family. So some of our family this year weren't able to make it because of it was a change in weekend than when it usually is. And so there was already an event that they were attending. So actually, the majority of my coworkers surprised me and registered.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's beautiful. Well,
Yeah,
and
so
you're in
we
the
ended up,
Peoria area. You go ahead.
I was just gonna say we ended up being a bigger group than we thought we were going to be. So
Aw, happy surprise. And I know
yeah.
that one of our other Sunflower Hour family members is out in Peoria, so I'm sure she was out at the walk. I don't know if you got to meet Carrie Ricky, but they have a walk team for her husband, Mike Ricky.
Oh, okay. I've seen their shirts at the walk.
Okay. So you guys, yeah, you saw each other walking around. I love that. I know she was probably out there too. I wish I would have connected you guys. I think you would have got along very, very well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I love it. They're already chiming. Yeah, Carrie was at the merch table on Saturday. So
Okay.
if you ran by anyone that walked past and bought some awesome merchandise from the walk, you got to meet another one of our family members, Carrie Ricky.
We didn't buy anything, but we did shop at the merch because it was a little chilly in the morning. So I was thinking about buying a sweatshirt before we got started. So yeah.
I love you guys have to check up. I'm sure they have the merchandise online, but I get really excited. If you look in my closet, it is stacked with all the beautiful red merch, the old school blanket. I have all kinds of fun stuff in there. So now that we have this beautiful new logo, some new designs, I'm going to have to restock up on all of the chapter gear. They've got so many cool things in there. Even I love their tumblers. I love seeing when they post online too. Oh, they're really cute tumblers. Well, was there a favorite moment that you maybe had from the weekend? Anything that stands out in your mind that happened?
No, not necessarily. It always makes me think about my dad. He was able to walk 1 year with us. Honestly, I'd never even heard of the walk. I knew what ALS was. We knew it as Lou Gehrig's disease. So, still shocking for him to have that diagnosis, but it wasn't like something I had never heard or something I'd never heard of. But I never knew the walk was going on in the Peoria area until we got connected to the chapter. And then, like I said, he was able to go with us 1 year. And then we just decided as a family that we'll walk as long as we have to, and as long as we can still walk, in hopes that, other families don't have to, don't have to live with ALS or can live with ALS, successfully, or I don't know what I'm trying to say. I guess I'm struggling for words right now, but just that don't have to have the experience that we had with ALS.
Yeah. Well, so your dad got to walk 1 year. How long have you been doing the Walk to Defeat ALS with Team Bill?
This was our 5th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wait, is that right? Yeah. He passed away in 2019 and he got to walk with us in 2018. He got to ride, we walked. He was in his wheelchair, but we followed him. I think I sent one of the pictures too, where we kind of did a selfie and he was the leader of our group and we were all kind of huddled around behind him. So
did he love it? Did he feel, because there's something really special about the vibe there on walk day that's almost unexplainable unless you've experienced it yourself. How was that? Do you remember how that experience was for your dad that very first year?
Yeah, I think it was a little overwhelming for him too. Because I don't know, it was kind of all about him, or that's why we were there. It was all about him. And he wasn't really one to take the center of attention, I guess. But it also allowed him to connect with some other people. It was kind of funny that he and my mom were checking out someone else's wheelchair and like, why do you have that tennis ball on the joystick and how does that work? And, we were doing some like networking about, maybe that's something we should try, Bill. Maybe we should put that on there so you can navigate it a little better. So, to think back on it is kind of makes me laugh, but it was just a way to connect, so that you don't feel as isolated. You don't feel like you're alone in your struggles. And then you can also just, kind of see what else people are doing to make it doable.
Mm-hmm. It is a community. Like I said, you're with people that are walking in your shoes, and there's something really magical about being surrounded by people that just understand.
Mm-hmm.
They
Yeah, they
understand.
just get it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they do. And they get it. And even more than that, they're so supportive and so loving. And it's such a sad, hard topic. And watching somebody go through ALS is heartbreaking. And this disease is so evil. But then you have something like the Walk to Defeat ALS, and everybody comes together, and you're smiling, you're laughing. I mean, there's so much joy and love in that day that it overpowers all the negative stuff that could be happening around you.
Mm-hmm.
It's magic. It's
so
absolute
true.
magic.
Yeah.
And I love that you feel that too. I love hearing it's not words. It's not just us saying, hey, this is really amazing. Time after time, we've had people come in that have been a part of this walk. And you feel it. You just feel it.
Mm-hmm.
Aw.
Yeah, you do.
Sam
You
chimed in
definitely
too.
do.
Yeah. Sam chimed in. That is exactly why her family is walking too. They walk so that one day families will not have to go through this disease.
Mm-hmm.
We're all in this together. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Awful, awful, awful. What would you say are some of the goals? I mean, we've kind of already touched on it, but because you said you're going to keep walking, Team Bill is going to be there as long as you can walk, as long as we need to until we get to that cure. What are the goals for Team Bill when you guys get together year after year and say, we're doing this again?
Yeah, I think it's just to be supportive, and try to give back to an organization that gave a lot to us or supported us. This year and last year, I tried to get my mom to, maybe don't walk as far because she's got a bad knee or, it's hard to make that walk. And she's like, no, I'm walking. If I can walk, I'm walking. And she doesn't say it, but I think part of that is just her resolve to, I will do this as long as I can do this. In honor of my dad,
Absolutely. That's a beautiful motivator to keep you going.
Because he would be there with us if he could. He would be supporting and walking right alongside of us. So we will keep doing it, knowing that he's watching.
Absolutely. And knowing that he is there. He is walking there with you, just in a different way.
Yeah. Right.
Absolutely. And I know it just happened. So it's definitely premature. We have another year now, but I'm assuming you guys are definitely open to if anyone wanted to come join Team Bill and be a part of that family. Yeah. So if anyone watching, don't worry, we'll remind you when it gets closer next year. But I think that's so fun. That's another thing I love about this is just the open community that if you're walking or you're watching and you're inspired and you don't have a personal connection to ALS, but you want to join Diana's team, you want to spread that memory and you want to be a part of Bill's continued story, you can absolutely do that. So keep that in mind for next year. If you feel like heading out to Peoria.
Yeah, join us.
They'll welcome you with open arms. And
That's
I can tell you,
right.
they're a fun team to be a part of. Like you said, small but mighty. They are powerful.
Mighty.
I love that. I'm glad you're coming back to join us next year. I think that's so exciting. I had no idea. I really didn't know that this was your 5th year. It's incredible.
Yeah.
So you've got to sort of see it. Have you seen it grow and progress through the years? I mean, have you noticed any big changes from maybe where it was 5 years ago to where the walk is now?
Yeah. I mean, we had a year where we did a mini walk I guess they were called mini walks where we walked. And we walked as a group around the Moose Lodge because that was important to my dad. So we just started walking around the exterior of the parking lot and walked that. So yeah, I think it's grown. I think every year, some of the people you see or the teams you're like, oh yeah, I remember that team from last year. Oh yeah, that I don't remember that one. That must be a new group. So I think it's always nice to go to just try to connect again with the teams that you've seen before, but maybe greet new teams too that or either just new to the walk or new to the journey. I don't necessarily always know why people are there, but my guess is there's some type of connection. So just trying to be welcoming and supportive.
I love that. Well, what would you say to somebody who's maybe considering getting involved in our chapter in ALS United Greater Chicago? Because you have, as we keep saying, you've experienced firsthand what it's like to watch your dad go through this journey, what it was like to participate in the services the chapter provides, and to continue on and share his story through advocacy. So someone new to this world or that's watching, what would you say to them? Why is it important to get involved with our chapter?
Are you meaning like from my standpoint, like now, or as a person living with ALS? I guess. Let me understand the question.
Not necessarily living. We have people that are watching the show that don't have that personal connection. So why our chapter? Why is it important to get involved, to volunteer, to donate to the chapter, even if you don't have a personal connection to ALS?
I think because I think it's important for families, to have those resources. I just can't even imagine what my dad's journey would have been like without the support, because my mom's mission was to get him out and about every day. Even on days when maybe he didn't feel like getting out, he got out, and he got out because of those things that were in place, those things that we were able to borrow, those things that we learned about that, would make getting him dressed easier, just snap on pants, or the slider sheets, or just all kinds of things that allowed her to care for him in his own home pretty much independently. My mom is a warrior, and she took that on. She cared for him and only really required some assistance we were all supportive, but on the day in, day out, she did that with the help of the organization, kind of educating her along the way about how to do these things, how to do them safely. And it's a horrible disease. And I would hope that at some point, we're able to find a cure. We're able to find something that allows it to be manageable. I don't know, and that's where all that money, goes to. All the fundraising we're doing is to try to provide supports for families. And then also just to try to, find a way to not have to have ALS in our lives.
Yeah.
So that's what I would say. Support the families.
Beautiful, beautiful. You couldn't say it any better. Support the families. That's why this is important. Diana, thank you so much. I love that you have continued. I know your dad is so insanely proud of you. You've got that spirit, you've got that stubbornness, and you've got all that fire inside of you from him that you are continuing to advocate. So thank you for everything that you do for ALS and continue sharing his story. It's really beautiful.
Well, thank you for having me.
Absolutely. Welcome to the Sunflower Hour family. You're one of us now. We got you.
Awesome.
I love it. I love it. Well, have a beautiful night. And if anyone wants to join Team Bill, check it out and join them next year at Peoria, because they'll be back spreading some more love.
Yeah, we will. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye. You guys, well, you heard it from there. I think it's so important to hear from those that have walked this journey so that you know exactly where that money is going to, where all of your help, your advocacy, your volunteer, whether it's time, energy, love, money, all of that is going to support families like Diana. It is so important. So this month, again, before the month is over, through the end of September, we have this matching gift campaign going. So every dollar donated gets double. You can double your impact. The links are up in the comment section. Please consider giving so that we continue to fight, not only provide support to those living with ALS and their families, but get us one step closer to finding a cure. It's all possible because of you guys. Thank you so very much. We will see you again for our next live show on October 17th. So join us back here right then. And until then, guys, have a wonderful rest of your month and be bright and shine your light.